Transcription number 234, Modern Transcriptions Volume 11 at 80 words per minute. Start. Madam Speaker, I would like to submit for your attention that reports have appeared in the public space that pilots have procured their flying licenses by submitting fake mark sheets. This has very serious implication for the safety of the passengers. Two pilots have been arrested and some other pilots are absconding. The Directorate General of Civil Aviation has ordered a review of 4,000 licenses, but that is really missing the wood for the trees. The real problem lies with the Directorate General of Civil Aviation itself. The fact of the matter is that the Directorate General of Civil Aviation is not an independent regulator. It is not mandated by an Act of Parliament. Therefore, they are susceptible to all kinds of pulls and pressures. There is no verification whether a particular mark sheet is correct, whether a particular person has passed a particular test before a license is given. In addition to this, ever since we opened our skies in 1992, there has been a mushrooming of flying academics, and these flying academics promise licenses to aspiring pilots even if they are not able to complete the course in the requisite standards which have been laid down. Therefore, my respectful submission to this House and through you, Madam Speaker, to the government is that this opportunity should be utilized by the government to seriously review the role of the regulator, the Directorate General of Civil Aviation. It should be mandated by a proper Act of Parliament. It should be set on an independent footing so that the safety of the travelling public and the various people who have been entrusted with that responsibility can be properly regulated. The passport is a very important document for any citizen to go to various countries for various purposes. Some Indians are going to foreign countries to carry their education. So some are going for job. Some are doing business. The passport issuing authority should take utmost care to issue passport expeditiously. South Tamil Nadu is an important place to establish a passport office. Our External Affairs Ministry should start a passport office immediately at South Tamil Nadu. The international terrorism has threatened our country on many occasions. We have to be very careful to prevent this terrorism by establishing a powerful mechanism of scrutiny and vision. Relationship with neighboring countries and also global nations are essential. A balanced foreign policy is very necessary for the betterment of our strong India. Madam, the issue of stamps and the private sector courier service are two unrelated issues altogether. As far as the private couriers are concerned, there are absolutely no guidelines as to how they need to be operated. There is, in fact, no regulatory mechanism. Some time ago, we wanted to actually put in a regulatory mechanism, but that was opposed. So, what we are thinking of doing is to amend the India Posts Act and bring out a registration procedure so that we know the various private courier services which are operating in this country. Apart from these private operators who are providing excellent services, there are a large number of local operators about whom we have no knowledge. In fact, they are inefficient. They may be fleecing customers. In order to prevent this, we are going to bring about legislation so that we can ensure the registration of all operators in this country in the speed post courier area. The Indian economy was facing grave uncertainty, yet economic survey shows that our economy is now in a far better position than it was 8 years ago. It is a fact that India withstood the economic crisis well and emerged from the global slowdown faster than any other country. The challenge before the government is to harness economic growth to make it more inclusive. After stabilizing the economy, the government now concentrates more on supporting and delivering services to the poorer sections. The proposals in the budget exemplify our motto. The food security bill, which is going to be introduced, is a welcome step to eradicate poverty, malnutrition, etc. However, the government has to do a lot to overcome weakness in its public delivery mechanism. Apart from being conscious of the price and taking steps to tackle it, the government may also take into account erratic monsoon and drought-like conditions that affect our poor village. There is a need of extending the scope of NREGA to include dairy farmers and ordinary cultivators. It may help millions of people to sustain their livelihood and contribute to agricultural production. In the health sector, the Honorable Minister has reduced the budget allocation to the national control programs like TB, malaria, blindness. Unless that is increased, our immunization program will be jeopardized. So, I would request our finance minister that he should see that service tax is removed in the health sector and proper budgeting for the national program should be made. Madam Speaker, I cannot support this anti-people budget which will make the rich richer and the poor poorer.